So everybody, this is that piece of wood I showed you the other day. I told you I was going to use it for Yule or something. I just got done sanding it and giving it a light finish. But I think I've changed my mind. I've been sitting here looking at the grain of the wood, and it has all this gorgeous wavy patterns and everything. So I've changed my mind. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe like an ocean view painted on here or an astral plane view. I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with yet. Just looking at it more like this. Yeah, I just find it so lovely that I think I'm going to use it as a canvas and paint one of those two. So I'll keep you updated on what I decide. Okay, everyone. So I decided to start, with a black acrylic background. And then I am going to paint various colors over that. I'm still not telling you exactly what I'm doing. But that is where I'm going with this now. My last two paintings on wood have sold. The first one to sell, it was on a slice of a tree trunk, round. It was based on my cat, Persephone. One night she was looking up at the night sky, and I captured a picture of it, and I decided to do this painting. Now, I do have this painting on various other things in my shop in case you're interested at gypsywitchcreations.com. Just look up Persephone and the Moon. That's the name of the painting. That one sold. And then yesterday I sold the prairie sunflower that was also painted on a slice of a tree trunk. So I really enjoy using wood as canvas. And I found this piece, and I decided to paint something in this. It is a surprise, though. So I'm just painting this all black for right now. Now the next steps I will be recording, doing a video on. However, as I told you, I'm now on Patreon. I would like to keep my Patreon page different than my YouTube channel. So, what I have planned for that is my artwork that I'm working on and such. I will be sharing from now on solely on Patreon. And then also, like the other day, I did a video on how I keep an herb gardens while being a nomad who lives full-time in a 20-foot trailer. My living space is only 17 feet. So I have tips and tricks on living as a nomad that I like to share. That is also going to be solely on Patreon from now on. Also, the woo-woo stuff, me being a psychic medium and speaking to the spirit realm, about, social issues I feel are so important. I think I'm going to keep that on the YouTube channel because we do need to address what is going on these days. No matter which side of the coin you're on, it's important that we, change things. I mean, let's face it, it's got to be changed no matter where you stand on, any of this. So that I think I'm leaving on open on the YouTube channel, and it will be on my Patreon page. But I have more, let's say, personalized when it comes to psychic readings and such. And as I said, there is going to be contests and you can win a personal psychic reading. Now, although I have tarot cards and stuff like that, I rarely ever use them. I love them though. But my mode of operation and every psychic works differently. So, I'm not saying one's better than the other because that is definitely not true. It's just the way some people work and others don't. I do more of a direct communication. I can hear the spirit realm, see them sometimes, stuff like that. Can definitely feel the presence. Right. Someone just came up behind you, but I'm not honing in because I'm busy right now, so I can't tell you who it is. Who was it? Your father. Okay. Yeah. So, Patreon is going to be more of a personal thing. We might do it on a global level. I don't know if you guys want to do more of a predictive type of thing. Right, and we all know how that goes. Right. It can always change based on the mass consensus desire. Right, and that's always more on a subconscious level, so we're not aware of it most of the time. So yeah, predictions are harder. I don't particularly like doing predictions myself because of that, because it can change. And I told you guys of an instance I had, and many other psychic mediums had that message too, that prediction, and it changed based on the mass consensus deciding they did not want it, and that's how that works. So I don't know, but it is going to be more personalized, more woo woo. Let's put it, yeah, more woo woo. Talking more about psychic, well, anything right brained. Let's put it that way. Right, art. We'll be talking about, my art. I'll be showing you how I do what I do and why. My tips and tricks for living in a tiny space and living off grid, because believe you me, I live off grid. I do have solar, but it is very, very little bit because I hardly use any electricity at all. I use very little power. Um, and another thing I want to do is learn how um, to live off the land, because I want to be like just, you know, totally off grid, I guess you want to say. So I'd like to learn how to live off the grid. In fact, I just commissioned a friend of mine who makes bamboo fishing poles to make me one. I'd gone fishing with my dad when I was a little girl. Don't know if I remember how to do it, but I must relearn. The one thing I never learned how to do, because my brother and father did this. Yes, girls didn't want to do it, is gut the fish and prepare it. Right, so that I'll have to learn. Hoping my friend might teach me that someday. But yeah, I want to totally learn how to do that. So those kind of things are what's going to be on Patreon. So this is the last you're going to see of this piece of art. So if you want to see what happens, come check me out on Patreon. Oh yes, and by the way, I decided to reduce the subscription fee, and I only have at this point in time one tier. There's, most people have different tier levels. I have one. And that probably will change in the future, but for right now it's one, and I reduced it by 50%. So yeah, it's only $5 a month, and like I said, there'll be psychic readings. We'll be talking woo-woo stuff if you're interested in that. If you're not interested in that and you're interested in the other stuff, well, you could just watch my art and my living off the land, my rustic lifestyle. Yeah. My tips and tricks for being a nomad and living on the road. You can watch whatever you're interested in or all of that. But we are having question and answer times. Yeah, I was going to say evenings, but right now I'm in Pacific time zone. When I get home and we have the time change, I live in Arizona, we don't do time changes. Then I'll be in mountain time. So yeah, it's kind of hard. I'll have to adjust that so it's the East Coast evening. Anyways, that's what we're planning right now. Right. And so the YouTube channel is going to be basically the same, except I am going to take the art out and the tips and tricks, for living as I live. That's going to be on Patreon. Really, we're going to talk social issues with the spirit realm on YouTube. However, more personalized spiritual stuff, spiritual topics, yeah, is going to be on Patreon. So please join me there. The link is at the bottom in the comments of this video and all my videos from here on out. You can find me there. Where else can you find me? Yeah, the other social medias are going to be basically the same as YouTube, except for Patreon. But I'm on Patreon. I'm on Odyssey. I'm on MeWe. Yeah, the more less mainstream platforms I prefer. But I am also on Pinterest, and of course there you can find, um, my shop. Um, Pinterest, I said MeWe. Oh, and I'm on Twitter. I can be found at Musings Michelle. That's so hard with the at, yeah. Um, so that's where you can find me. But please do join me on Patreon. And yes, we're going to have contests for free products and merchandise from Gypsy Witch Creations, my shop. And I have something for everyone there. Don't think that all my stuff on there is all woo-woo. It was not my intention was to cater to everyone, financially and in that department. You might find some woo-woo stuff, but it is more or less general public stuff, because I chose to cater to those people. And, I have everything from like as cheaply, you don't want to say cheaply, less expensive, yeah, it's not cheap, less expensive, such as magnets, all the way up to, bedroom sets, bedding, and cube lamps that are more expensive. Now, I would like to say that I have many payment options on there too. Um, I just put on PayPal. I have what they call shop payments. That if you purchase something that is $50 to $1,000 USD, you have the option of interest-free payments. You could split them into 4 payments. So there is that and all kinds of other payment options. So don't think my shop is just expensive items. If you're looking for something smaller, there's magnets, things like that. My ornaments. I have ornaments that are just not Christmas and Yule. I have Halloween. I have everyday ornaments you could just hang around the house, stuff like that. And those are much less expensive than most items. I like to keep it open, for everyone. So, check that out. And then, of course, I do have my handmade. It's weird, my paintings printed on, home dec products, clothing, shoes, and stuff like that. My paintings, they print on there. But it seems like my handmade, like what I'm doing right now, is more popular than having my paintings printed, which surprised me. I don't know why that was, but I was very shocked by that, which is good because I love doing stuff like this. I just walk around in nature, and if I find something interesting where I don't feel I'm doing nature harm or I'm robbing, as a witch, you have this thing where when you're harvesting in nature, you only take a quarter of what's there, if that, and leave the rest. So if it's something I find interesting and it's calling out to me, I will take it as long as it's not harming anything, and I use it for art. So it's odd. I was very shocked to find that is more popular than my paintings printed on home goods and stuff. So anyways, that's where I am at now. Just about done with this piece. I am going to add color to it, if it turns out well, and I'm hoping it does. It's going to be very interesting and I think very beautiful. So come check me out on Patreon. The link's down below, and you can find all my other social media places I am at. So, I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.